program is brought to you by Newsworks in cooperation with the City of Eau Claire. This program is simulcast on WRFP-LP 101.9 FM. The Eau Claire City Council meeting will return in a moment. Newsworks is made possible by continuing community support. If you would like to volunteer or make a donation, please contact us via phone at 715-839-5067 or online at valleymediaworks.org. This program is simulcast on WRFP-LP 101.9 FM. We now return you to the Eau Claire City Council meeting.
Call this meeting of the Eau Claire City Council to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
They switched them. We're seeing who pays attention today. This is your alert test.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Anderson. Here. Beaton. Here. Berge. Here. Christofferson. Here. Emmanuel. Here. Gregert.
Here.
Strobel.
Here.
Weld.
Here.
Worthman.
Here.
Jean.
And thank you everyone for coming this evening, and thank you, Madam City Clerk. I want to just recognize Valley Media Works this evening for their help with live streaming these proceedings. Those can be found at valleymediaworks.org or on the government channel, which is 99.4 on Charter Cable. Can also be found simulcast on WRFP-LP 101.9 FM. Past proceedings of the Eau Claire City Council are also available on their YouTube channel. This evening we have a short agenda, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So we'll move to the first order of business, our consent agenda. Are there council members who would like to remove any of the items separately on the consent agenda or have questions of staff regarding any of the items? Any desire to remove any items? I see none. We'll then, on a motion by Councilmember Strobel, seconded by Councilmember Anderson, move that item for consideration. Any discussion on the consent agenda? No discussion. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Anderson. Aye. Beaton. Aye. Berge. Aye. Christofferson. Aye. Emmanuel. Aye. Gregert.
Aye.
Strobel.
Aye.
Weld.
Aye.
Worthman.
Aye. And that item passes. We move to our next item, which is the business agenda. First on the business agenda is a Gibson Street vacation. Item number 9 is a resolution vacating a portion of Gibson Street from Gibson to Graham on the Chippewa River. This item was postponed from our December 11th, 2018 council meeting. Staff is requesting a further postponement. So are any questions on this item? I don't think we need a presentation, but are there any questions? I'll see none. Then we'll move this item on a motion by Councilmember Emmanuel. I think we'll just move it and then make a motion to postpone. So moved by Councilmember Emmanuel, seconded by Councilmember Weld. This item has been moved. Motion to postpone. Councilmember Emmanuel.
I have a, maybe see if we can ask for a
Oh, sure.
statement from the city manager. It looks like he
Yeah.
wants to say something.
City Manager?
Thank you. Just wondering if our city engineer has a recommendation on when a date certain to postpone this so that it doesn't just hang out there.
We are working through the visual easements that were discussed with the hearing for this vacation. And we would anticipate that we should have a resolution by July at the latest. I would think that would give us time if things get busy this spring on here. We're working through it actively right now, but I would recommend till the July 9th meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, City Manager Peters. Councilmember Emmanuel, did that help answer your question?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that the council postpones us until July 9th, 2019.
Okay, there's a motion on the table, seconded by Councilmember Beaton. Discussion on the motion to postpone to our July 9th meeting. First meeting's in July. Any discussion on that item? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Beaton,
Aye.
Bergy,
Aye.
Christopherson,
Aye.
Emmanuel,
Aye.
Greigert,
Aye.
Strobel,
Aye.
Weld,
Aye.
Worthman,
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
And we move then, the item passes. We move then to item 10 on our agenda this evening. This is regarding appointments to our various boards, commissions, and committees. And you will see on your desk this resolution approving appointments and reappointments to various boards, commissions, and committees has been handed out. Does everyone have that? So I will read this into the record, but just so folks know that the appointments committee met recently. I think it was last Thursday or Friday, and made these various recommendations for appointments to first the redevelopment authority. This is a new appointment of a 5-year term expiring December 31st, 2023, of Ms. Mary Prosnick. We also recommended the Sustainability Advisory Committee reappointment to a 3-year term to expire April 1st, 2020 of Mr. Jim Schumacher, and new appointments to 3-year terms to expire April 1st, 2020 of David Hahn and Sarah Reichel. On a motion then by Councilmember Beat, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. I'd just like to add that the Appointments Committee also discussed two other agenda items related to how the public interacts with our boards, committees, and commissions, and including the possibility of opening up a public input session at our boards, committees, and commission meetings, just like we have done recently here, as well as a more codified process of how agenda items are added to the board, how items are added to agendas for our boards, committees, and commissions. That's something that was that needs, I think, to be codified a little bit. And so we're going to be working at our next meeting on a work plan, our yearly work plan, like our other advisory committees, to bring a resolution, hopefully a resolution forward at some point to start real work on this. So something will be coming before council before anything is set in stone, though.
Thank you, Councilmember. That's very helpful. We'll then, on a motion by Councilmember Beaton, seconded by Councilmember Greigert, move this item, resolutions approving the names of folks aforementioned. Is there any question, discussion, input on the recommendations in front of you? Councilmember Strobel?
If you would just give me a second, I'm reading the resume for the person that was nominated for the RDA.
Sure.
Our packet doesn't necessarily, it doesn't say who we're nominating in the packet, I don't think. And so that's why I guess I hadn't read it before this. It just said nominations for the Appointments Committee. I don't think it really said what committees we were nominating to. And I could have read that wrong. But if you give me 1 minute, that's all I'm asking.
Sure. I think certainly that's helpful, Councilmember. I'll take the microphone and just put in an encouraging word for folks at home to really consider. If you haven't been able to serve on our boards, committees, and commissions, we try to offer the opportunity for you to be involved in all sorts of different ways, from our Waterways and Parks Commission to sustainability to our Plan Commission, looking at new planning and development, to our Transit Commission, and various boards as well. And there's so many different opportunities to serve. We have hundreds of people that have served in our boards, committees, and commissions and are always looking for people to apply and consider applying. Maybe it's something you can do, maybe something that others in your family or your friends and neighbors can do. But again, these are the opportunities where, whether it's building developments or new ideas about how we, incorporate our waterways into our city, all those things, we work with so many citizens to make those things possible. And so I just want to encourage everyone to be able to do this. And we actually have an online form that people can go fill out. And that's how we, those are the names that we then review at our meetings. So does anyone else want to offer a few words? Councilmember Strobel? Did you feel like you have a fairly good handle on the appointment? Councilmember Emanuel.
Thank you, Acting President. I guess I would just contribute maybe a little process perspective on this. So often if the Appointments Committee meets after the packet is published, that would be the reason why the specific names are not listed in the packet, and yet there's a deadline of getting that packet out for the legislative agenda. So this is a pretty common practice to go ahead and publicly notice that, and then often council members will receive the resolution of who the Appointments Committee forwarded on for a recommendation. So this is a very standard practice.
Councilmember Beaton.
I just wanted to add too that I got notification from Ms. Merle that normally we would have gotten this on a Monday, so that we had this prepared for Tuesday, but since we didn't have a Monday meeting yesterday, that's why it's coming today.
Councilmember Strobel.
Then I might have a question for the committee just on the qualifications of the person for the RDA. As I read through this, I guess maybe you can give us sort of your logic and reasoning on it.
I don't have I would have to probably pull up my notes, but Councilmember Beaton, do you want to speak first?
Really briefly to it, I also don't have my notes in front of me, but we were advised from staff that there are sort of different qualifications that we were looking to fill, and in this case, we were looking to fill the position with somebody who has some experience in the housing and development realm or profession, and in particular, the advisory committee on appointments was particularly our qualifications that we were looking for to add to that were a person who has kind of a track record and a value with affordable housing and some knowledge of affordable housing as our RDA, continues to work within redevelopment and certainly outside of the affordable housing value. They're also starting to look more at different affordable housing projects that they can be working on too. So that was at least my reasoning for that choice. We always confirm with staff that it's a person that they believe is qualified for the position, and we received confirmation from the city manager Peters that this was a person that could fit the bill. So.
And if I could add something to that too, thank you, Councilmember Beaton. I found my notes here, but just looking at being able to understand the fiscal impacts of developments and having an understanding of the financial components, which is also something listed in the resume here and my notes. So those are sort of the key things that we were looking for. Yeah, Councilmember Emanuel.
Thank you, Acting President Orthman. I shared this information last time we talked about this, and I think it's still relevant to look at the language that's required for membership on these different boards and commissions. So for the RDA authority, some of the qualifications I see that are reflected in this applicant's information is that they've got information on finance in a business group, civic organizations, and so that's to me, she definitely has that experience. And then looking at related fields for planning and direction. And so including to assure efficiency in the redevelopment program. And so she definitely, her application and experience hits on several of those requirements for membership.
And I think thank you, Councilmember Emanuel. That's very helpful. I think the sort of the key things that stepped out at us is in the professional summary, looking at real estate professional of over 10 years experience, leasing, property managing, director of properties, group leaders, build excellent reputation, putting plans in place and achieving an organizational turnaround, increased degree of operational expertise, fiscal oversight, supervisory acumen, tenure with owners, regional leaders, strong understanding of organizational management, integrated financial and accounting systems due to educational experience as non-traditional student, as well as obtaining masters of business administration, and so forth. And down here, looking at works with federal and state funding streams, including personal supervision of those funding streams. So there's a number of just pieces that were relevant to this committee and why this person would be a good fit. Anyone else want to add to this discussion? Councilmember Berge.
The Appointments Committee was looking for experience with affordable housing, Ms. Prosnick has attended the Affordable Housing Task Force, and I know who she is, and I've been impressed with the wealth of knowledge she has, and she's testified before us too, I think our last meeting or maybe 2 meetings ago, so on affordable housing. So I think and I believe she works in a builder's office, so she has that experience as well. So
That's very helpful. Further discussion on these recommendations? I see none. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Berge.
aye.
Christopherson. Aye. Emmanuel.
Aye.
Gragert.
Aye.
Strobel.
Aye.
Weld.
Aye.
Worthman.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Beaton.
Aye.
And that item passes. We move to our ordinances for introduction this evening. First up is item 11. This is a ordinance rezoning property located at the west side of First Ave between Chippewa Street and Niagara from RM to P. Is there any desire for council to suspend the rules and take up this item this evening? I see no such desire. We'll move then to our second item, a second ordinance for introduction this evening. This is an ordinance rezoning property located at 103, 117, and 123 Roosevelt from R1 to P Public, and approve the site plan for visitor center and admissions building with site improvements. Any member of council wish to take up this specific item and move it, suspend the rules and move this item? I see no such desire. We'll move then to item 13. This is an ordinance rezoning property located at 1106 Mondovi Road from C3H to C3P. Do any members of council wish to suspend the rules and take up this item at this time? Seeing no such desire, we move to our announcements by City Manager and City Council. City Manager Peters.
Thank you, Acting President Worthman. It's not very often that I have twice as many announcements as you had business items, but tonight we do that, but I'll do it in half the time that you did. So, so the first is that next week is on April 2nd is the community business dinner or breakfast with the chamber. So it's over at UWEC. And so if you've not signed up for the community business breakfast, you might want to do that. Then on the 3rd, so that would take you on Tuesday morning, and on Wednesday afternoon or evening is the Eau Claire screening of Around the Corner with John McGibbon. And if you're not familiar with that show, it's a public TV show out of Milwaukee, and Eau Claire is going to be featured in that. It's a half-hour, I believe it's about a half-hour show, and it's all about Eau Claire, and it's going to be in the RCU Theater at the Pablo for free. You just have to get your ticket. So it should be a pretty neat reflection of Eau Claire that's going to be shown multiple times on statewide television, and I believe actually there's some national pickup of that show as well. So if you want to see the Eau Claire screening of that, that is going to be on Wednesday night, the 3rd at 6:30 at the Pablo and RCU Theater, and all you have to do is sign up for the tickets, and they're free. That's for everybody, including the public or anybody who wants to come to that. Then on the 3rd is Clear Vision, at the Pablo Center, the visioning process. This is the 3rd evening of the Clear visioning process. So if you have the ability to attend that, I think you'd find it very informative and helpful, and that starts at 6:30. And then on the 4th, is the Chambers, I'm sorry, on the 17th is the fourth item. On the 17th is the Chambers Annual Awards Program. And so if you've not signed up for that, please let Kathy know. So that is on the 17th on Wednesday. So a couple of things, 3 things next week and 1 thing on the 17th. So that's all I have.
Next, April 2nd, on April 2nd is our election. So hopefully everyone gets out and votes. Any other announcements from council members this evening? Seeing no further announcements, on a motion by Councilmember Berge, seconded by Councilmember Christopherson, this meeting will be adjourned.
All right.
This program was brought to you by a cooperation between Newsworks and the City of Eau Claire. A transcript of this meeting is available for the hearing impaired. It will be available within 7 days of this telecast. Call 715-839-4912 or TDD 715-839-1689. Or write Eau Claire City Clerk, P.O. Box 5148, Eau Claire, Wisconsin 54702-5148. Newsworks is made possible by continuing community support. If you would like to volunteer or make a donation, please contact us via phone at 715-839-5067 or online at valleymediaworks.org.